Well, on to this now. Human rights lawyers representing coal mine workers have filed a class action lawsuit against mining companies South32, BHP and Seriti Power. The class action is in relation to the families of workers who died due to coal mine dust lung disease. Dasantha Pillay is an attorney at Richard Spoor Inc. Attorneys, and she says thousands of coal miners have been left with incurable lung diseases. Well, she joins us now for more on the story. Good evening, Dasantha. Thank you so much for your time tonight. Firstly, when we talk about this application for a class action and what it is that you are accusing the mining companies in law of not having done, what is it?
Well, thanks for having me, Kathy. I think a good place to start is actually what a class action is and why it's special. So a class action is a special way to bring a case to court in which a group or a class of people who have the same grievance or issue bring this case or this matter on behalf of everybody who has this issue. So in this instance, RSI is representing a group of coal mine workers who have contracted this illness, coal mine dust lung disease, or the families of these workers who have died due to the illness as a result of their work at the South32, Seriti or BHP mines. I think that's a good place to start.
When it comes to the number of people that you anticipate will join this class action, what does that look like currently?
So we've consulted with over 1,500 former and current mine workers and family members. We think that this class action is going to be will include tens of thousands of people. We know this because there's been systematic failure by the mining industry to implement safety mechanisms that are required by the law. And this goes back to one of your previous questions. What is the case that the mine workers are bringing? And the case that they're bringing is that there are safety regulations that South African law requires the mines to follow. And this includes things like proper ventilation, dust suppression, PPE, proper training. And the mines have just consistently failed to follow that legislation and that law. And the mine workers are going to the court saying, this is unacceptable. This has completely ruined my health. And there must be some measure of justice and responsibility that the mines need to take.
What do you anticipate are going to be some of the biggest challenges for you and your clients, Dasantha? Because, of course, there have been numerous attempts to bring a class action in various matters, really, across the state before, but often they don't find much success.
So I'm not privy to what the mining company's strategy will be, but what I can say from our side is that we're open to negotiation and we're open to a settlement agreement. But if the mining companies are unwilling, we're ready for the long haul.
When it comes to trying to ensure that you have as many participants as part of this class action, how far are you willing to go with that?
Well, this class action includes all mine workers who have contracted this illness and, of course, and have worked at these mines, and, of course, people who have died as a result of it. And it includes mine workers that come from any country. And this will, as you know, because of the migrant labor system, include mine workers from Zimbabwe, from Mozambique, from other SADC countries. So we are looking to include absolutely everybody who has been affected by this by the complete failure of these mining companies to simply implement safety measures.
One of the cases that I can think of, Dasantha, when it comes to class action, at least of this case, is what we saw in the mining sector around miners that had contracted silicosis. Talk to me about whether there will be any similarities with your case to that, particularly just by way of precedent and the way in which you're planning on fighting this particular matter.
So silicosis was another class action that Richard Spoor attorneys, RSI, launched. And we are quite confident that we've learned many lessons from that, and it'll speed up this process. It was the second class action that this firm launched against the mining industry. The first one was against the asbestos industry.
All right, well, we'll leave it there for tonight. Dasantha Pillay is an attorney at Richard Spoor Inc. Attorneys.